Hello to you and welcome to Zuni Canyon. You've entered into a very unique and special area, and it might be good to have some background before we venture into this canyon. For most of us at school, we were taught that this area, including Utah and Colorado and Arizona and New Mexico, was called the Four Corners. Because when the new European Americans divided up the land into states, they made these four meet at the center of a horizontal and vertical line where a person can actually have one foot in two states and the other foot in two other states. But what we now know, and find to be quite an amazing coincidence to say the least, is that the native people here have called this area the Four Corners for hundreds of years before any European Americans arrived. They named it that in part because there were four large and sacred mountains, which essentially marked the north and east and south and west corners. If we turn around and look back as we enter and before we enter this canyon, you can in fact see one of the four sacred mountains, which our maps call Mount Taylor, named after an American president who never once saw it, while the various Pueblo and Navajo people each have their own name for that mountain. Some among the Acoma people refer to it in their language as the White Mountain, perhaps because of the snow often at its top, while the Navajo or Diné people refer to it as the Blue Mountain and the Healing Mountain. All these tribes have their own special names for it, but I would not be authorized or even able to share those. We are told that this Zuni Canyon Trail, which leads to the ancient Way Trail, connecting the Pueblo of Acoma with the Pueblo of Zuni, are in fact the two oldest roads or trails still in use anywhere in North America. We know from human remains that people have been here for at least 18 to 20,000 years. This land is among the oldest in North America and was once a vast inland sea with dinosaurs roaming the edges. But geologists tell me that even then these ancient Zuni mountains were basically islands for hundreds of thousands and maybe several million years. This land and these hills and mountains and volcanoes are very, very old. But why did these ancient people come to an area which seems so very rugged and raw and sparse and dry? We know because of trading arrangements that they were aware of the more fertile areas to the south and the pleasant climate of Southern California as well. So why here? It is explained that when they were asked by elders, and sometimes invisible entities, to come here and guided to come here, yet were not allowed to come here before a mass circular migration had taken place. They had to earn their way here and to purify themselves as they approached closer to the Four Corners. And this was in part true because this area sits on the spine of Mother Earth, which runs essentially from the top or crown of the globe to Patagonia in the distant south. In fact, this area is not only connected to the spine of Mother Earth, but also to her heart. Welcome to the Heartland, and ideally, welcome to a journey home, a journey to the heart as we journey into the Heartland. This Heartland, as it were, is surrounded by, and in a sense protected by, two wonderful earth serpents. To the west, the male and raging Colorado River cutting its way through the Grand Canyon and elsewhere. To the east, the more gradual and calmer serpent that we call the Rio Grande River. In many ancient legends, it is very clearly that ideally no one crosses this fertile and abundant serpents without the blessing of an elder. This is both to protect the purity of the heartland as well as protecting the individual who enters the heart. Most ancient and indigenous people throughout the world regard our planet as living. They regard us as children of Mother Earth. And we are even constructed much like our mother. Each of us, as well as our Mother Earth, began life with a soft spot at the top of our head, which hardens as we age. Each of us has a spine and a rhythm and a vibration and energies flowing in ever so many directions. Now today, some young people looking at a geographical map of North and South America while learning these things jokingly say that Mother Earth's spine needs a chiropractor. Interesting enough, many out here quite agree. They believe that Mother Earth has had major geographical shifts and adjustments, at least 3, and some might say 4 times in the very ancient past. And a commonly held belief is that the people living here were asked to wait here until yet another adjustment, leading ultimately to another world, has occurred. But now, let's talk about this canyon and the 7 gates we are about to enter into and beyond.